What's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a closer look at the HP 14-inch EliteBook 840G8 laptop. This is an EliteBook. That's the title of the laptop itself. It also goes by as a notebook. So HP has branded this laptop, notebook, EliteBook as it opens up a lot. This is the first time I actually opened up this much. I didn't think it was this flexible, but yeah, this laptop itself is branded as an EliteBook / a notebook. But I think it does offer a lot more power and a lot more value than just a simple notebook. Today in this video, we're going to be taking a closer look at the details and the specs and all that stuff that this laptop has to offer. And ultimately, what I'm trying to do with this video is I really want to answer a question. Is this the best work laptop, best back to school laptop, or just in general, just like a good old everyday daily driver laptop? Let's find out. So first things first, let's jump right into it and talk about the build quality of this laptop. I really do think that for the price point that this laptop comes in at, which is right now, actually, if you take a close look on Best Buy, I'll leave some links in the description down below for you guys. If you take a closer look on Best Buy, you can snag yourself this specific laptop. And there's also other versions that we'll get into this video. There's the reason I really like this particular line of laptops specifically is they offer a good variety and a good range, and I'll get into the details in a minute, but I really want to talk about the pricing real quick. You can get up to $1,000 off on this laptop right now on Best Buy. There's also other versions of the laptop that go for like on sale for like, you save around $600, $800. You can save a lot of money on this specific line of laptops at the very moment. But let's jump right into the build quality of this laptop. I really do think that for the most part, this laptop offers a really great price to value ratio. The overall build quality feels really nice. It's sturdy, and the one thing that really sticks out to the store eye is that when you take a closer look at it, it's not your classic razor thin laptop. It's not one of those laptops that just slices right through air. It's not like 1 millimeter thick. Now this laptop has a good amount of just overall heft to it. It's not heavy by any means, but it feels like there's an actual piece of technology in your hands. You know, a lot of the modern laptops, they're very thin, super razor thin, they're very lightweight, and that's great, and it's amazing for portability, for, you know, just carrying those things on a day-to-day basis. But I really do think that just a good old laptop with a bit of heft to it, a bit of thickness to it, you know, the premium, the materials are a little bit more heavy, they're a little bit more, you know, sturdier. I really do think it never hurts, and in this specific scenario, this is mainly branded as a work laptop. I really do think that this is the perfect combination, as it offers like a really sturdy quality and built overall. And I do think that if you're going to be bringing this laptop on a day-to-day basis, whether it's at work, at school, both, depending on whatever you do with your day-to-day life, I think this is going to hold up really well. It also has this really like nice light silver finish, which I do overall think that it is really nice. Super simple branding. It only has an HP logo on the back, and inside you'll obviously see the screen, the keyboard, the trackpad that I want to get into really quickly. And other than that, you won't find much other branding. You'll only have the EliteBook logo in the front, and that's pretty much about it. The one thing I do want to point out that I do want to say is I'm freaking tired of Windows laptops always having these Intel stickers in here. It's just, guys, please get rid of these Intel stickers. They're not pretty to look at. If anything, if you want to put them somewhere else, like maybe underneath the laptop. That would be a good idea. Oh, well, as I say that, there's a Microsoft Windows sticker at the bottom. But just overall, these stickers are really outdated. They're just not that cool. It doesn't look great on the laptop, and it just kind of overall kills the vibe of the laptop. This phone specifically, I just really find really nice. This is specifically, for me, essentially, this is one of those laptops that you would see at the store and you would never really glance at, or you would never really give it a chance. But the second you give it the light of day, you'll see how it has potential, and it really does surprise you in many ways. Now, build quality aside, I want to get into some of the specifics of this laptop. The trackpad is it's new, it's old new. I think that's the best way to describe it. This is basically kind of an old new design. I like it in a certain way because it is simple, it's very minimalist, and it gets the job done. You know, at some point you want to just put your laptop down and you want to scroll, and sometimes just, you know, all the haptics and all the scroll 2 times and then put 3 fingers and then zoom out with like all your fingers and all that stuff. It's great, but sometimes it gets a little overwhelming, and I think there's beauty in simplicity, and I think there's something great about this trackpad because it has the left right button at the top of the trackpad, and it also has your traditional trackpad. It's not huge, it doesn't take up the whole space on that empty side for the laptop to have a trackpad. It's a little bit towards the left hand side, and I think that's a very old school kind of design, but then again, it doesn't hinder your experience in any shape or form. Now, one thing I do want to cover on really quickly that I absolutely love about this laptop is the keyboard. I don't know who took the decision at HP, who designed this keyboard, but they absolutely nailed it. I think this keyboard in itself is just beautiful. The typing experience is immaculate. The travel on the keys, fantastic. I literally have nothing to say. This is probably my favorite keyboard ever. I've used a good amount of keyboards, just regular keyboards that you plug into computers. I've used a good amount of keyboards on laptops, but this has to be my favorite. I don't know why. It's just, it feels so good. I feel like the keys have just the right amount of weight to them. They have just the right amount of travel, just the right amount of feedback. Everything is just pretty much perfect, and I really do love the font on it. And it has backlit keyboard, which is a nice backlit because it's not just your regular backlit, it's an adaptive. Whenever you're not using the laptop and it's just kind of just laying there, or you're looking at a video, the backlit on the actual keyboard will dim down and will stop, and then when you start typing again, it'll pop right back up. Now that also helps with the battery preservation, which is great. Speaking of battery preservation, battery life on this computer is relatively good. It'll give you a good like 15 hours of battery life, and I would say that overall across the span of time, you won't really notice a downgrade in the battery quality nor in the battery life of the actual computer. It does hold up. It's nothing crazy. It doesn't blow any other laptop out of the water, but it does get the job done. So I definitely say that if you charge this in the morning and you bring it out to work, to school, wherever you may be going, it'll get the job done. You probably might have to charge it towards the end of the day if you are a heavy user, maybe throughout the middle of the day. But other than that, I do think that the battery holds up pretty well, and it handles most tasks for the most part. It does just fine. Another thing I want to touch up on the laptop is the actual front-facing camera. It has a regular 720p front-facing camera. It's nothing crazy, but it does have a built-in privacy lock. So for example, if you take a closer look, you'll be able to close that off. I keep it closed most of the time, as a lot of people have stickers on their MacBooks or on their laptops, or on their HP, Samsung, whatever the case may be. If they don't have the built-in privacy, a lot of people will put stickers. I think that looks really bad in some way. It just kills the whole like aesthetic of your laptop, whether it's an Apple or an Android, a Windows, Android, whatever the case may be. I just think that overall the stickers look really bad. So I'm glad that HP has included this in the laptop. It's super simple, you know, it's convenient. Wherever you don't, you know, I'm gonna keep an extra layer of security, just turn it off. Super simple. Speaking of the screen, it is a 14-inch screen. It's a 1080p display. It's nothing crazy, it's nothing fancy, and it also doesn't really get too bright. This has to be one of the only downside of the laptop, is the screen isn't exactly super vibrant. It's also not that bright, so specifically in outdoor situations, you will have a hard time seeing what's going on the screen, especially if you're watching videos or consuming media, for example, like Netflix, YouTube. Good luck. I'm telling you right off the bat, you're gonna have a hard time actually viewing something on the screen, especially if there's sun outside. Good luck. It does not get too bright, but indoors it handles really well. Actually, in a lot of situations when I've been indoors and there's been like lights, so like above me, or maybe in a cafe, in a shop, it's handled really well. So in indoor conditions, this laptop will get the job done just fine. No problem there. Outdoor situations though, be on the lookout, be wary. I've warned you. It's not extremely bright, so if you do have a hard time seeing on the computer, you have been warned. Now, furthermore, I mentioned in the beginning of the video that I like the fact that the laptop itself has a bit of thickness. It's not super thin, and it just feels like an actual laptop. But that being said, it also allows HP to have room to integrate more ports, and I really do think that this laptop is great. It's super versatile. It has a good amount of ports. It has your classic power adapter. It has two USB-Cs, which I think is really good because you can use those to charge the laptop. You also have a dedicated HDMI port, which is great. You also have auxiliary cord, which is pretty much found on all the laptops, and I think that's kind of there to stay. You know, self-explanatory. If you want to have headphones and you want to have some music playing, you want to get some work done, you maybe need to take a call on some headset, auxiliary jack always gets the job done. And other than that, it also has two USB-A 3.0 ports, if I'm not mistaken, and that's a pretty good roundup of ports. I think on each side there's a total of 4 ports on each side, and I think that's great because a lot of laptops nowadays, especially MacBooks, have absolutely killed the ports. There is nothing for you there. There's like 2 USB-Cs and that's it. You have to pretty much carry along 300 dongles and 300 adapters, which is super annoying. And I really do like the old school. I really like when a laptop feels like a laptop and it feels like a portable computer and not so much like a fancy piece of technology. Because yes, Apple and their MacBooks are great, but they do lack accessibility in a lot of ways. And I do think that just a classic, laptop build overall holds up really well, especially over time. Even if it doesn't have the most premium brand new features, I do think that it just holds up really, really well. All that being said, it also has a Bang & Olufsen sound system, which is pretty good. So these speakers, if you're going to play some music or you're just going to be listening to some videos, it sounds really good. It sounds a little bit better than your average laptop. I'm not going to say it's amazing. I'm not going to say it packs so much bass you could have a concert just with the laptop itself. You could do a whole DJ set. No, but it does have a little bit better audio, a little bit more crisp, and it has a little bit, more clarity in the mids and the highs. But other than that, it's nothing crazy, it's nothing fancy. It's just a little touch that I think is nice. Now, with all that being said, ultimately the question is, how does the laptop itself perform? It performs really good, and I think this is one of the things that does stick out to the laptop. It does have an kind of like an older school design, but the performance of the laptop is where this machine really shines. It has an Intel Core i5, which is the 11th generation at 2.6 gigahertz speed, and that processor in this specific machine handles really, really well. Now, I gotta say, this is one of the things that has really blown my mind, and this is probably one of the main reasons why I decided to actually have a review on this laptop, because the performance of the laptop itself is interesting. It's very good. It's surprising. It's fast. It's crisp. It's sharp. It's really good. Any task that you give it, it'll pretty much handle really quickly. And it's also really good at multitasking. So if you're gonna have a lot of apps open at the same time, for example, Microsoft Teams, OneNote, email, Google Chrome, you have some other software that's running at the same time. Now, it does handle a lot of tasks really well. And I think for the overall performance and the price value of this computer, it does hold up really, really well. This specific model has 8 gigs of RAM, which I was kind of on the fence about. I was a little bit skeptical about 8 gigs of RAM, as I didn't know if it was going to hold up. But overall, I do have to say, after using this computer for several hours and just an extensive period of time, I do have to say that 8 gigs of RAM mixed with that Intel Core i5, it's been going great. It's been doing really good, and I have pretty much no complaints. The performance on itself is really, really good. It also has a 256 SSD storage drive, which is, I think, a little bit more than the average, which, a lot of laptops nowadays it would be around 128. This one has 256. I think it's great. It's a little step up. It's twice the amount of 128. Obviously, quick, simple math. But I think 256 SSD should be kind of the new standard. And I think if you guys are looking to pick up a laptop, this one specifically, that's the amount of SSD that I would definitely recommend. If you have the possibility to get more RAM, I would also definitely suggest you get more RAM. This one specifically, it has an option where you can get 16 gigs of RAM. So if that's something that you're looking forward to, get so. And if you have that a bit of extra money or some spare money that you would like to spend, definitely invest, because the 16 gigs of RAM will help with the longevity of the laptop itself. So right at the beginning of the video, I mentioned how this laptop was interesting because it had a lot of variations. And what I really like about HP and what they've decided to do with this specific machine is that they've given us an Intel-based laptop. So this one specifically has an Intel Core i5. But if ever you were a little bit on the fence, or maybe you have a personal preference and you don't necessarily like Intel-based laptops, they also have this exact same laptop, which is branded as the 845. And that one has an AMD Ryzen 5 inside. So that's really cool because it allows you as a consumer to just really pick the perfect mix, whatever you think fits best your needs. If you are more driven by Intel-based machines or AMD Ryzen machines, this specific line of laptops will meet you right in the middle. You can choose whatever you like, and then you could also have specifications, more storage or more RAM or any of those things. And I really do think that overall on HP, that was a bright move. Maybe they didn't give us all of the bright fancy features, so like an OLED display, touchscreen, and all that stuff, but overall, at the end of the day, this remains a work laptop and also a school laptop. So if you plan on getting this laptop to get the job done, to get through your task on a day-to-day basis, if you want to pick this up maybe for your company, you have some employees, or you're running a small business and you want to get some laptops, this is definitely the best laptop to do so. It has great value, great build quality, so they're pretty sturdy as well. They don't feel like they're going to break in any second, or they don't feel like you're going to use them once a little bit more severely, or like an outdoor condition and they're going to get like 100 scratches on the screen and just going to get all roughed up. It does hold up pretty well. The quality is definitely there, and the overall performance definitely stands for itself. It speaks for itself. It holds its ground, and I think that's really what the intention was behind this laptop with HP. So ultimately, now after covering all of these topics, is this the best work / school laptop? I do have to say that it definitely is up there. I'd have to put it maybe in the top 3 selections at the very moment, because of its price, because of its performance, and also because of its simplicity and how it all connects together and everything, and all the pieces have a harmony to them. So if you guys are looking forward to get this computer for school, work, and any of those things, or maybe if you want to just get a new personal laptop, if this is something that you're looking into, I'll definitely leave some links in the description down below. As I said, Best Buy is having a pretty good deal at the moment. You can save a lot of money on this laptop specifically. If you guys want to find more information, also in the description down below. Let me know what you think. Are you guys more on the Windows side? Are you more on the Apple side? I'm definitely starting to like both. I've always had a knack for Apple products, but Windows, sometimes, man, they come out with some great products, and you really just can't deny how some of these products do hit the nail on the head. This one is one for me. Let me know what you think of the HP EliteBook 14-inch 840G8 laptop notebook. This has been a review on that. With all that being said, guys, as always, leave something in the comment section down below. You know, talk, let's have a chat. I always like to get in touch with you guys. With all that being said, I wish you the best of luck in everything you do, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Deuces.